Hi, welcome to the Triforce Podcast, where we talk about video games, we talk about movies, anime now, apparently.
Yeah, we're fucking multimedia at this point.
That alone is going to get us copyright.
Watch the show.
No.
It's the Triforce.
So, do you guys remember back when, before the podcast? Do you guys remember when we were first talking about doing a podcast together?
Yes.
All those years ago.
Oh, yeah, it was really 2.5 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it feels it.
I feel like it's almost 3 years ago. And we were deciding what we could have done and all the things that we were all into. And I feel like it came across a topic and we were that's a thing we should definitely do. And then we never did it. And now we're here about 3 years later. And we're finally going to touch on something that I feel like is so big for us. Which is Avatar.
I'm so excited.
The Last Airbender, not the blue guys.
No.
Yeah, we're doing this directly to spite James Cameron.
I'll do anything out of spite.
Fucking take this, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
I literally think that Avatar very well could have been the first episode of this podcast if we all had just had the same thought at the same time.
Oh,
But
without a doubt.
This is so on brand for us to talk about doing a thing, all of us saying, yeah, we're gonna do that, and then it going nowhere.
And then it immediately being just sucked into the chasm of thought that is our brains.
We have an entire section that is lists of topics we want to do that have just never been touched.
I'm gonna
out us on live.
You know what? I'll take it a step further. I have a Google Doc of things that we were supposed to do, and it says last opened October 2020.
Yo, share me on that.
Yeah, that's got to be sent to the send that to the class. Hello,
Yeah,
I'm gonna out us a little further than that. So we have a Twitter, and we constantly tell everybody to reach us on Twitter, and then no one checked the Twitter.
I will. You know what? I'm going to take full responsibility for that because I created the Twitter. It was linked to my phone, and I may or may not have had to wipe all of my data from my phone. Not recently, but a year ago. And I just...
Yeah, that's what kicked me out of the Instagram.
And I just
God
didn't put the Twitter back on my phone.
See,
and I
here's the
forgot
thing.
about it.
I've had access to the Twitter this whole time. That means literally nothing because I didn't check it because I was like, Colton's got this. No, somebody requested that we talk about Avatar, and then all of us were like, oh shit, we like Avatar. Oh shit, we have a Twitter?
Yeah.
So,
I have the message here. Z was like, I firmly forgot that we have a Twitter.
The way that I screenshotted that and I was like, oops.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really funny. And it's also really funny that you caught that the day they tweeted it.
Yeah, I think I was I think it was a day late and I was just like, oh my God, because I don't get notifications if I'm not actively on that page.
Oh, yeah.
Making us look way more responsive than we actually are.
Yeah. I shit you not. I literally was like, oh, Z was like, that's only a day or two old. And I was like, we're lucky that I was like, oh shit, we have a Twitter.
That was so funny. Holy crap.
Well, this is for you. Who was it? Do we have the name on that?
I thought Colton had the screenshot pulled up.
Oh boy, guys, we are good.
I've been. I'm here. Hold on. Wrong. Nope.
Just want to give this person their proper shout out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I got you.
Yeetus temp.
I remember it was funny. Yeah, one more time.
Yep. It's Yeetus temp.
Yeetus temp. Amazing.
The tweet reading, I've been listening to you guys for a bit and I've been wondering when could we get an Avatar The Last Airbender episode? Well, it's your lucky day, my dude.
Here we go.
Right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that, Yeetus temp. We did not intentionally forget your handle.
No, we're doing it in the year that it's been requested. We're on top of shit.
Yeah,
2023, it's our year.
that is the worst sentence I've ever heard. We're doing it in the year it was requested. We're on top of shit.
We have a couple of requests that have been at least a year aged at this time.
Oh, God.
We keep saying we're gonna do it, and then we don't. But anyway,
You know what, guys? We're back. Z, Rain, Colton, the three nations coming together until adult life attacked.
Right, literally.
I mean, I was gone. When the world needed me most,
Absolutely.
I did vanish.
You Avatar Roku'd our ass for a little while.
That's pretty crazy, guys. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, so we can start off with something, right? One of the greatest animated series of all time? Question mark.
I would go on
yes.
record and say solid top 3.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty bold. I'll have to agree.
Yeah.
That's pretty bold, but I'll agree with it.
This is, dude, this is the Halo 3 of animated shows. Like, this is just so, there is not a single thing wrong with this show. Not at all. Every single episode is thoroughly entertaining from start to finish. It's cohesive, it's brilliantly written, brilliantly animated, and it's just such a good watch.
Yeah. It's wholesome, it's vibes, it's the music, the animation, the fights. Amazing.
Oh, God. I will say, though, I noticed while I'm watching this again that the animation kind of drops off a little bit towards book 2, but only because they're not going for that cartoony, like that really funny cartoony kind of vibe anymore. It's a more serious tone, but it's not like the quality shifts. It's just that they're not doing those elaborate cartoony animations anymore.
Yeah. And the hard lines have come out to play.
Yes, they have. And it's, oh, God, the music. When that theme song first kicked in again, oh my God.
Right.
Do you ever have that feeling where, like, you hear a song or you see something that you really love and, like, you get that wash of just happiness from, like, the top of your head and it just shoots down your whole body? Like,
Why do you think I replay Kingdom Hearts so much?
oh, God, oh, my Lord. It's
The
so
second
good.
I hear the first thing of like Simple and Clean, I'm done. I'm like, yes.
Why do you think I commit 3-hour-long Google searches about the Ottoman Empire, Colton? You understand? Oh my God.
That's a weird one to get that from, but you know what? We're good. We got it.
Oh my God. So it's awesome. It's amazing. I'll have to agree. And why don't we go with episode 1, The Boy in the Iceberg?
Oh, please. This episode was so fun. And you know what? I like to just preface this with, if Sokka wasn't such an asshole, this entire series wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, very much the Vegeta of the show. Oh my God. Very interesting guy. Yeah, definitely interesting in early Sokka. We have to talk about early Sokka because it is a story of character development here.
Yes, but I do think that they did character development so correctly with Sokka.
Mm-hmm.
He's a perfect example of how a character should start and then develop.
Literally by episode 4, like, they did it already.
Yeah, they did it already. But, like, he's still also season 1 Sokka, but also he's like, oh, shit, other people have thoughts. Like,
Sokka getting hit with the, like, oh, shit, people have feelings?
Yeah, he's like, oh, my God, I'm not the only person here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. And he has to confront a lot about the way he was raised and what he believes, which is... Katara's immediately open-minded to the world, whereas Sokka is, like, immediately kind of closed off to everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So we have Sokka and Katara, 2 teenage siblings, living in the South Pole, who discover a young boy and his pet flying bison, Appa, trapped in an iceberg. In the first episode, titled The Boy in the Iceberg, which had an OAD, an original air date, of February 21st, So a couple weeks from now, in 2005, Avatar is almost 20 years old.
God, the way that I can feel my spine compressing. I need the senior citizen discount at IHOP stat.
I just got an email from AARP.
Somebody's talking about a plot. I don't think they're talking about a plan either. After Katara frees him, she discovers that he is an airbender. And in fact, later on, we will come to learn, as per the tagline of the show, the final airbender.
Yeah.
And the siblings take him home to their home village. That's strange to say. Take him home to their home village in the home of the Southern Water Tribe. Meanwhile, his unfreezing attracts the attention of the Fire Nation's Prince Zuko, who is intent on capturing him in order to regain his, everybody say it with me now,
his honor!
Oof.
Ridiculous.
Ooh, season 1 Zuko.
Oh, God, the best. The best.
See,
Chef's kiss.
I love season 1 Zuko because he's like, he gives you those hints of the goofy ass that he's gonna be later, and I just love it so much looking back on it.
Sure. But, like, here's the thing. The wiki is saying that his unfreezing attracts the attention of the Fire Nation, which is not true. Katara and Aang go on after he, like, is, everybody, some of the people in the village distrust him, namely Sokka and their grandmother. But she goes on an old Fire Nation ship.
Oh, no. Z, they're correct when they say that, because when he exits the iceberg, he exits in the Avatar state, and then there's a giant,
they see the beacon, right?
There's a giant pillar of light that shoots up, and they're like, "Oh my God!" Well, it's weird because, like, yes, that should have happened the first time, but it just happens one time. It's just that one pillar, and Zuko happened to be there. And he's like, that must be the Avatar. And Iroh's like, what are you fucking talking about? We're in the middle of the South Pole. It could be literally any light phenomenon that happens down here.
Oh, man.
Nah. That's definitely the Avatar. I know an Avatar light beacon when I see one.
Absolutely.
My honor.
Bro.
Uncle Iroh is so, oh, God, I love him
Top
so
tier
much.
character.
Deserves to be in the Cartoon Hall of Fame if there was ever one.
I spent my whole childhood going, I'm going to be Uncle Iroh when I get older, and then I changed my thoughts rewatching this. So
you gotta be Uncle Iroh right now.
No, I'm going to be someone else when I get older, and I'm going to talk to you. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, so he gets that pillar of light, and then he falls, and he's just like, you remember his first words to Katara and Sokka?
Will you go penguin sledding with me?
Will you go penguin sledding with me? Oh, Aang.
Cutie pie. An adorable boy.
Yeah, a very, very good, wholesome boy. But we forget that that the only reason that Aang was released from the iceberg is because Sokka pissed off Katara so much that she broke a glacier in half with her water bending.
True. Without Sokka, the world would be...
Without Sokka being a sexist pig, according to Katara, we would not have this entire series.
I love it.
Actually, no, that's not true. Aang would have come out some other way, probably.
I don't know, man. That boy, that ice was thick.
Yeah, that was some thick ice, but, climate change and whatnot, but...
The Fire Nation gets a little too ahead of themselves.
Yeah, right.
Episode 2 aired on the same day as episode 1. Pretty cool. The Avatar returns.
Yes.
Prince Zuko attacks the Southern Water Tribe seeking to capture the Avatar, Aang. Katara and Sokka fly in on Appa to save Aang from the Fire Nation, leading to one of my favorite moments when Sokka isn't convinced that Appa can fly at all. And then when he gets really excited that he's flying, Katara just looks at him and he goes, I mean, yeah, whatever.
No, my favorite is when he's like lazily sitting back on Appa and Katara's like, come on, Appa, you gotta fly. And Sokka's just sitting in the back like, rise, ascend, elevates, soar.
Amazing.
I love him. Can we also talk about how Sokka had that whole training montage of him getting ready for the Fire Nation, and he charged Prince Zuko and just got one shot kicked off the fucking gangplank.
He didn't even firebend. Like, just kicked him.
He took his spear and he ran at Zuko. Zuko just grabbed it out of his hand, broke it, then bopped him with the back of it.
Yeah, no, you don't fuck around with that. This is his
Zuko
honor
was
on the
like,
line.
I don't got time for this shit.
That was so funny. Just one spin kick and he was off. That's it.
After realizing that Aang is the long-lost Avatar, they agree to accompany him on his travels to master the other elements. So, yeah, the whole idea behind the Avatar is the only one that can bend all four elements. So Aang's presumably the only one that can do that, but when he wakes up, he only knows airbending, which will be important later.
Yes, and he's also very not keen on being the Avatar. Like, he didn't want to be the Avatar.
Yeah.
And we find that out in episode 3, but like this whole sequence is just, it simultaneously shows how naive Aang is, but also how competent of a fighter he is, because he solos the whole Fire Nation ship.
Crossed up Zuko in the second episode.
Yeah, and he does it with his arms tied behind his back, and he's just sitting here like, oh, this is just fine, I can just do this. And also, he's on that ship because he sacrificed himself so that Zuko would leave the village alone. And I think that's really cool that, you know, unlike a lot of the Fire Nation ships, Zuko made good on his promise and left the village alone. And I think that was amazing because that the whole story, the whole reason that ship is in the village to begin with is because they tried that before and they occupied the village.
Right.
So, like, and that's why they were in that other Fire Nation ship that sent up the flare. So, and also Zuko thought this whole time that the Avatar was a 112-year-old man, which was... Yeah. It makes sense to think that, but it was so funny to look at him and go, you're a kid. And then Aang's like, so? You're just a teenager.
He fucking got him there, though.
It's like, he got him. He fucking got him.
I just love when he's interrogating the village and he just grabs their grandmother and he goes, he'd be about this age,
yes.
master of all four elements.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yo, Zuko had some cool moves in the village that he never used again. Like, where were his fire daggers that he had? Like, what happened to those?
He got too much. He got too good for them. He didn't want to rely on them.
Everyone has to have their edgy moment, and that was his edgy moment.
That was his Shadow the Hedgehog moment. Like, oh man.
Literally, Sun the Hedge. Literally,
Ow, the hedge.
Oh my god. Episode 3, the Southern Air Temple, rolling in a couple days later at February 25th.
Such a good episode. Such a sad but good episode.
Yeah. While journeying to the North Pole, Aang, Sokka, and Katara explore Aang's former home of the Southern Air Temple, where he famously learned airbending from Monk Gyatso.
What a cool character.
Awesome. Like, funny Gandhi was the best. I enjoyed the shit.
He literally was funny Gandhi. I love it.
Yeah, he was making he was giving him like some sage ass advice about life, and then they just started fucking throwing cake at people.
Yeah, no, not people. The Council of Airbenders. Like,
amazing.
They were like, they were the ones that told Aang that he was the Avatar. And the only reason why they told him so early is because of, you know, the the Fire Nation doing their thing, starting things up. So, like,
Long
Aang
history of imperialism.
yeah. Aang was really not a fan of the fact that he was the Avatar. And Monk Gyatso is like, the only mistake they made is telling you before you were ready. But now that they've told you, you have to embrace it. The world needs you. And just because the world needs you doesn't mean you have to stop being yourself, though. They need you, not what they think you are.
Oh, nice.
Like,
That's great.
And I'm like, oh my God, my heart. And then he's like, so you going to help me with these cakes or not? Like,
sometimes you just have to drop that like sage wisdom and then immediately just be like, all right, back to what I was doing.
Yeah, back to what I was doing, terrorizing the village.
Right. Yeah, it is. I'm glad that we had such a good time with Monk Gyatso, but I'm unfortunately going to have to lean back into this storyline with the next plot point.
A good character is remembered even if he's on screen for 45 seconds.
Thought I would sizzle the room down a little bit before I said, Aang learns of his people's genocide at the hands of the Fire Nation.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
In turn, his anger triggers his avatar state, which in turn alerts the world that the avatar has returned. A little bit to chew on there, for sure.
Yeah. First plot hole, and I think really only plot hole in the show right now. This is the second time he's been in the Avatar state since we've seen him.
True.
And now they alerted everything that the Avatar has returned.
No, it is different. It is different because while they were at the Southern Air Temple, they saw the room full of all the Avatar statues. So because he did it, so I think in proximity to it, it sort of like woke them all up, and all of the Avatar souls started like tweeting from the afterlife. I don't know.
I could see that. Yeah, I could. Yeah. I could get with that. All right, that's
the
fine.
afterlife Twitter is real. All right,
and that, you know what? No, that makes sense because the subsequent times that he enters the Avatar state, it's not like there's fucking beacons popping up all over the world.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I get that.
Tickle that bell icon every time I go into the Avatar state. You'll get a notification.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to know when I'm in the Avatar state.
To know when I've just found my dead master. Oh my god. Oh, this show tackled death so well, though. Like,
episode 3, like
episode
3, like
episode 3, Monk Gyatso's fucking bones, dude. Like, oh my god.
Speaking about those bones, yeah, what's up?
Oh, I was gonna say we almost had a time where Aang found out about the Fire Nation, and Katara. We find out Katara's like, you know, trying to protect him and trying to, you know, not make him exposed to the genocide of his people, because they were doing that thing where Aang and Sokka were playing airball, and Katara found the Fire Nation helmet, and Sokka was like, we have to tell him, like, we have to. There's like, what do you mean? He's gonna find it. And Katara calls him over, and as he's running over, he has like the ball in his hand, and he's like super happy and just kind of hanging out. And she just throws a mountain of snow over the helmet. And she's like, oh, actually, no, it was nothing. What else do we have here? And I'm like, oh, my God, that's so sad.
It is.
Oh, God.
And Sokka made a point to be like, yo, you can't protect him forever and stuff.
Yeah, like, Sokka really was, you know, even season 1 Sokka, he was the voice of reason for the whole group. And, like, it sucks because you can hear in the way the lines are delivered that even Sokka's like, oh, we got to be here for him when he finds out. You know, it's going to be bad. So, oh my God. And then when he saw Gyatso, that hurt. That like sucked the air out of the room when I was a kid. Like, oh my Lord. But Gyatso, man. holding
Speaking-
himself off against like an entire room of firebenders.
I was about to say, speaking of those bones, you want to know what made those bones? I'm serious about, like, there was a ton of firebenders in that room. Like,
There was
Monkeyatsu
so
went
many.
out like a badass.
Monkeyatsu soloed a whole room of firebenders before he died. Like, what a boss.
Probably threw cakes at their ass.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know, if he would have won, there would have been cake flying at the
hell
ship.
Cakes
yeah.
have decayed with time. Oh my god.
We don't actually, you know what? We don't actually know if he was killed by firebenders because he would have been a pile of bones naturally by the time Aang came back. If it was 100 years later, we don't actually know if he was killed by firebenders.
I don't know, he might have died from his burns or from an infection from the burns or from smoke inhalation. Who knows?
But like he also could have just been the last one there and just died naturally.
We can hope for that.
Yeah, we could do that.
Meanwhile, Zuko and his uncle Iroh have been having their ship repaired at a Fire Nation port commanded by rival Commander Zhao. Now, Commander Zhao is a motherfucker. Hate that guy.
Get that guy out of here.
But he does lead to one of my favorite sequences in this episode, which is he pisses Zuko off enough, basically saying Zuko is famously on a mission to capture the Avatar, who's been missing for 100 years. In order to regain his honor, he has to return home with the Avatar, which is considered impossible. So his father's using it as a creative means to basically get rid of him. Mm-hmm. Which sucks. But Commander Zhao makes a comment saying that if your father really wanted you, he would have brought you home by now, Avatar or no Avatar. And it leads to maybe my favorite line in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I know which one it is.
An Agni Kai at sunset. I sometimes just say that shit out loud. I've said that to students, co-workers, my father. It's a lot, you know?
Or actually, I thought you were going to go with the other one where Zhao is like, he gave you that scar on your face to remind you. And then Zuko goes, maybe you'd like one to match.
Yes.
Oh!
Get him.
An absolute
Hell yes.
love him. Love him. Yeah, so the Agni Kai is a firebending duel, and it's awesome. The sequence is amazingly animated. The fight is cool, but the music is bumping.
No, the music in that is fucking phenomenal.
Oh my God. Like, I'm getting chills again with hearing it in my head.
Right.
Just if you need a way to get into Avatar, if you've never watched it before, if you've never seen anything about it, watch the Agni Kai.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's
like-
so good.
Earlier in episode 1 or 2, or maybe even this episode, Zuko was drilling with Iroh, training firebending, and he's like, teach me like the more advanced like set of moves, and he's like, nah, you're like, practice your basics. This is like Mr. Miyagi type shit.
Yeah, because Iroh is one of the most powerful firebenders in history because he understands that fundamentals are everything.
My fucking
They
guy.
are literally everything.
Love it. All right. Maybe we can move on. It's crazy because this show has so many great episodes, like back to motherfucking back.
Oh
With
yeah, no,
episode-
we have to talk about the resolution of the Agni Kai. We cannot skip away from that.
Oh, sure.
That's so good because Zhao is this ridiculously powerful firebender, and Zuko, he's a great firebender. Don't get me wrong, but he's a hot-headed kid, and he's being pushed back because Zhao is just coming at him so aggressively, and Iroh's just screaming at him. He's like, your basics. You need to use your basics.
Yeah.
And he just trips Zhao and just starts turning the tide on him and trips him again. And he's standing over him, ready to deliver the final blow. And he delivers it next to his head.
Classic.
And he's just like, I'm done with you. And Zhao just gets up and tries to attack him again, and Iroh just comes in, absorbs it all, and then just with a flick of his wrist, flings him across the ring.
I love him.
Do you, like, bro? I was like, yes, absolutely yes. And there was this whole sequence where they were invited to, remember they were invited to dinner and drinks, and Iroh was like, do you have any jasmine tea? That's my favorite. And then Iroh delivers this line right afterwards. He says, so this is how the great Commander Zhao acts in defeat. Disgraceful. Even in exile, my nephew has more honor than you'll ever have.
Yeah, man.
And then he walks away, and Zuko's just like, did you really mean that? Oh, he's like, thanks for the tea. It was delicious. And then they both walk away. And then Zuko goes, did you really mean that? And Iroh's like, of course. I told you Jasmine's my favorite.
Yeah, he's a dickhead. He knows exactly what he's saying.
I love him.
I'm sorry, Zuko spent his whole night in his little cabin just going, my uncle said I got honor.
He said, my uncle, I like my uncle.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, that made, that was the turning point where Zuko's like, I will protect this man with my life.
Right. We've got episode 4. My friends, the Warriors of Kyoshi.
Oh, my goodness. I love them dearly.
March 4th, 2005. As Aang and his friends begin crossing the expansive Earth Kingdom, they are captured by the female warriors of Kyoshi Island.
This is the Warriors of Kyoshi episode, or the absolutely definitive Sokka plot development episode.
Right, yeah. This episode pretty much serves to do one of two things. One, to fix Sokka as a character.
To fix him.
Immediately.
I can fix him.
And for Michael Dante DiMartino just writing this episode like...
It's I can fix him, the episode.
Suki tying him to the pole like I can fix him.
Literally. Also to introduce Avatar Kyoshi, right? So in episode 3, we saw Avatar Roku, who is the firebender before Aang was. So the Avatar keeps getting reincarnated if they don't get deep frozen for 100 years, of course.
Yep.
So Kyoshi was the Avatar before Roku. So they have Kyoshi Island is dope, and we get introduced to baby girl Suki, an amazing character.
Oh, she's amazing. Like definitely one of my anime question mark.
We can get into that question after
I'm gonna say anime because it's anime enough. Definitely one of my anime crushes growing up, 100%.
I like to call it an adjacent. Personally,
an adjacent. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
we take that here.
There. It's just there. Sokka is trained by the female Kyoshi warriors, while Aang lets the villagers' reverence for him go to his head. So Sokka has to wear
the marble
a dress.
thing. We get the marble thing this time. Hey guys, check this out. Oh, and we get the foaming at the mouth guy this episode too.
Oh my god, one of the best visual gags in this whole show. Yeah. Oh man, so Aang keeps getting loved by the villagers, and he keeps doing a lot of stuff to capture their attention because
he literally does this fucking Chip Skylark ass running montage around the village. Oh god, it's so funny. I love it. It's very Scooby-Doo, this whole montage,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, because if you took a famous person and they've been gone for 100 years, you'd be interested to see what's good,
I don't know if I'd be chasing them down the entire village the whole day, though. I feel like that's a lot.
Right.
I don't know. They don't have access to the technology we do. You can't just look that up on TikTok and have a 30-second clip and be like, oh, the Avatar just came back. No. You can't just have that. You gotta chase the man.
So Suki kicks Sokka's ass for a good portion of this episode, which is well needed, it seems.
Oh yeah, and like he has that whole sequence where he's like, I could teach you girls a thing or two, and they're all like, oh really? Why don't you show us? And then he just gets fucking rocked, and like the whole sequence is just him getting beat up. And then the last one is like she takes his belt off and ties his leg to his arm with it, and he and just sweeps his leg out, and he falls over the ground. And she goes, "Got anything else to teach us?" And I'm like, God damn! Like, how are you gonna flex on him that hard?
Crossed up.
Oh my God, that was unbelievable. And like, I really love when Sokka came back to the dojo. And she's just like, oh, you here to teach us more? You here to give us more wisdom? And he goes, no, I'm actually hoping you could give me some wisdom. I'd like to train with you. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, yeah. And I like this where, you know, they did, Sokka was a dickhead, you know, fine, sure. But like they're rewarding him for changing. And I love that. I really love that. Like, and he's a competent dude too. And like he puts on the whole garb and everything, and he's just like, wow, I feel powerful. And then Aang comes by, he's like, hey Sokka, nice dress.
Good stuff.
But like, that was a cool outfit too. Like, what? I would wear that. Are you kidding me? That's so cool looking.
The face paint?
You know what? I'd fuck with the face paint.
I like the fans.
The fans are pretty cool. I like the gold seal and the body armor. Like it looks so good.
So Zuko finds out that Aang is on Kyoshi Island, and he attacks the village as Aang and his friends escape on Appa, heading to some other places in the Earth Kingdom. Basically, the warriors of Kyoshi are gonna hold that shit down and let him escape, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and so what happened was, do you remember the kind of B plot of this episode where he was coming here to ride on the giant koi fish?
Right.
And like then that whole that thing came out. Oh, the Unagi. The Unagi came out, which is this big giant eel dragon creature. And he's like, oh my God, I gotta save this village from being burnt to the fucking ground, because Zuko and his firebender gang just came here, and these are all like straw buildings. So they're all being burned to the ground. And we found that the Unagi attacks primarily by shooting water at its prey. So Aang jumps off of Appa at the last second, dives into the water on top of the Unagi's head, and pulls on its whiskers and shoots water all over the village, dousing the fires.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's like the first instance we get of Avatar Aang, you know, just the kind of person that he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little kid that's been tasked with saving the world.
He's a good noodle, though.
He's a good noodle. That's what I'm saying. He's such a good noodle
star.
He is a good noodle, and we need to say that more because, yeah, you know what? He's a little dumb sometimes, but like his heart is always in the right place.
See, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I normally hate main characters. I have no problem with Aang. I really like him.
He's a main character done right, 100%.
That's good, you know? I mean, he is really what the show focuses around, so I feel like they had to make him lovable, otherwise the whole show didn't make any sense. The show was literally called Avatar, The Last Airbender. We're supposed to be...
how many shows are supposed to be like that, and I don't like the main character.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Like, I understand it entirely, but like, what I love about Aang is his character growth is never like, oh, the world is terrible now. I'm learning all the secrets of the world. I'm going to be a brooding villain now. Oh, no. His character development is like, oh, the world is pretty bad. I need to be an even gooder noodle. Like, you know?
I
must
have to
increase.
up my goodness.
I love that. I love that kind of growth where they just lean into the character that they really are. Oh, God. He just becomes an adult good noodle. And I love that.
All right, are we ready to move on to episode 5?
Oh, my God. We're only on episode 5.
Yes. That's yeah. We'll go far together.
All right, let's do it.
Episode 5, The King of Omashu. Original air date March 18th, 2005. While in the aforementioned city of Omashu in the Earth Kingdom, Aang and the Aang gang, accidentally destroy parts of the city on a joyride of the city's mail system, which, given the Earthbenders, is gigantic fucking sarcophagi that move the mail for some reason.
Because they're earthbenders and they can.
Literally, it's because they can.
Do you think that if I could magically move rocks with my hands, that I wouldn't get a job where that is required of me every day?
Right. It only makes sense. Work at the quarry.
It's so fucking cool. Earthbenders are my favorite. They are my favorite by an unbelievably wide margin. They're the coolest by far.
Yeah, I definitely have some appeal. Especially this one. The King of Omashu challenges Aang to 3 tasks that require creative thinking before he will allow Aang and his friends to leave the city.
Did we forget to mention how he got into the city?
I suppose so.
Yeah, because he dressed up as an old man using a giant tuft of hair from Appa, and like this was my favorite sequence because the guard turned away the cabbage merchant, one of our main characters in this series, turned away the cabbage merchant, threw his cart of cabbages into the chasm that surrounds the city and turned him away because he's screaming at him. He's like, "How dare you!" And Katara's like, "Maybe we should be really nice and really, calm with this guard." And then Aang's like, "Got it." He becomes an old man with this get up and his staff, and he runs up to this guard. The guard's like, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'll tell you who I am. How dare you address me in this way? I'm Bansu Pippin Ponocopsis Ontopoulos III, and I'll have you know that I'm here on business." Oh my God. Aang and Katara and Sokka are just like, "Oh, he is going to get us murdered."
Ridiculous. Yep.
Oh God. And he gets let into the city. He just absolute nat 20 deception check on this guy.
Flimsy security, brother.
Absolutely.
All the points went into charisma on that one.
Absolutely. And not only that, but his first order of business is to terrorize the mail system.
I mean, honestly, same hat. My first order of business when I go somewhere new is how quickly can I piss everyone off.
Absolutely. It's the only way to live.
How can I fuck with the mail? It's great because the King of Omashu originally looks like this really frail old man, but there is the sequence where they fight him at the end.
But I'm the most powerful earthbender you'll ever meet. I'm like, ah!
He's actually jacked as fuck.
When I said that I wanted to be Uncle Iroh when I was older, I changed my answer to this. This is who I am going to be when I'm 80 years old, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
I can't wait to fight you. When we're both 80. And you're still ripped.
Right. The third challenge that Aang overcomes is guessing the king's real name, learning that it is actually his childhood friend, Boomy.
I think we have to discuss something about these challenges.
They were awesome.
No, they were, and I totally agree that they were awesome. But we need to discuss that, he won't let them leave because he also put these rings on Katara and Sokka that are turning them into fucking rocks.
known as creeping crystal.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, and then
And I think, like, what is it at the end? He just goes, "Nah, it's rock candy."
oh yeah, he's just like Genomite's made of pure rock candy. He just takes a chomp. He's like, delicious. He's fucking whacked. I love him so much.
100% that is what you're going to be like when you're 80, though.
Oh, without a doubt. And one of my favorite sequences in this whole episode is when like Aang beats Boomy and he like goes over to Katara and Sokka and they're like almost fully encased in this. And Aang's like, so how are you guys doing? And Katara's like, other than the crystal slowly encapsulating my entire body, doing great. And then and you just pan over to Sokka and just one side grows really tall and then he just falls over. It's one of my favorite sequences in that whole episode. Or actually, no, another good one was when they were at the table and like they were deciding whether they're going to put Aang in the good cell or the bad cell. Like, this is going to be me and whoever is like my caretaker at age 80. It is like, so take them to the bad chamber. That was just recently refurbished, sir. That's the good chamber now. Oh, really? Is it? Okay, so take them to the refurbished chamber that was once bad. But wait a minute, wasn't the good one over there? And he's like, no, I think that was the bad one you're talking about. No, okay, so put them in the refurbished chamber. We really have to number them. That made me laugh so hard.
If you were like a Bond villain, essentially. Like,
I lost it. We really should be numbering them.
all right, we've got
Oh, God.
episode 6, Imprisoned, which aired on March 25th, 2005. Aang, Katara, and Sokka camp at a small Earth Kingdom town where all of the town's earthbenders have been arrested by the Fire Nation.
Oh, this was a cool episode.
Right. So it begs to kind of help us to remember that Katara was the only waterbender in her village, and her skills were like super rudimentary. And she's searching for the same waterbending master that's going to help Aang learn waterbending to help her out as well. But she is no slouch. She's getting good at this by this point in this part of the series, I think. So,
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah. However, Katara accidentally gets an earthbender, Haru, arrested.
Oh, yeah, that she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I feel so bad for Haru because like, Haru was just trying to help, and like, yo, fuck that old guy. Like, are you kidding me? Like, so the reason he got arrested is because, you know, he was earthbending, and that's a no-no. You can't do that. So what happened was this mine collapsed in on this guy, and they're trying to like, you know, get the rocks off of him, and he's like struggling. He's like, it's crushing him. And Katara's like, you know how we can get this. You know what we can do for this man. And Haru's like, I can't earthbend. And she's like, you have to. And he's like, all right, fine. So he takes a step back and he puts up that earthbending stance, and then he pushes the rocks back in. And the guy, he's like, oh, thank you so much. And he walks them back he walks Katara and the old man back to the village. And then in the middle of the night, the firebenders come banging at his door, and the old man is with them. And the old man is like, that's the kid that was earthbending. I was like, fuck that old guy. Are you kidding me? Let the rocks crush him. Fuck him.
Me there just like, sir, I'm about to fucking end your life with my earthbending.
I was like, oh my God. How do you get saved by somebody and then turn them over to the police? Fuck him.
Yeah.
I got so mad at that.
It's just like it's pretty rough. And so in her guilt, she tricks the Fire Nation into arresting her so that she can help free the earthbenders from the inside of
we have to talk about the fake earthbending.
Yeah, where they help free the earthbenders from the inside They're all in prison. Colton, go ahead.
Yeah, we have to talk about it. So Sokka is showing his real, true brilliance for the first time here. Like, this is the Sokka that we all know. So he's like, oh, so there are these mine vents that if Aang blows air through these vents, we could push a rock onto this other vent and it will make it look like you're earthbending. So, and Aang's like, okay, cool, I'll do that. And then Sokka's like, all right, so we're going to get the rock over here. And Katara's getting ready to set up and call the police over. And she's like, do you remember your cue, Aang? And Aang's like playing with a butterfly. He's like, oh yeah, totally. And she's like, you know what you have to do, right? He's like, yeah, no, I got you. Don't worry about it. And so her and Sokka start initiating this fight. And I forgot what exactly she says, but she calls his ears like really big. And he goes, you better stop that. And he just whispers, seriously, stop that. And then she just keeps going. And then she's like, earth bending powers activate. And she's just standing there. And she goes, I said earth bending powers. And then Aang just blows the rock up. And you see Momo behind it. Just holding his hands up. And the policeman's like, the lemur's earthbending. Sokka's like, no, you idiot. Oh my god. And then as the firebenders are taking Katara away, Sokka's like holding his ears. Like, are they really that big?
Poor Sokka.
Oh my god, it was such a great scene.
A good boy. A good boy. So we've got a 2-parter episode here. So let's I don't know how we want to do this. I think we'll probably want to just run through it all and then talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
So we've got Winter Solstice Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 is called The Spirit World, and Part 2 is known as Avatar Roku.
Oh, quick aside from last time, because we didn't really mention the climax of the episode, where so Katara gets onto the barge where they're keeping all the earthbenders. She incites a prison riot, and they all escape.
Right, and it was made out of metal so that they couldn't earthbend it.
Yes,
right?
And also real cool fun fact: the warden for that episode was voiced by George Takei.
Yep.
And I thought that was really awesome. And they devised a plan where all the coal that's powering the plant was used by the earthbenders to make a break. And it was awesome. Great episode.
It was definitely a good one. A big, revolutionary spirit, fight for your rights kind of shit.
Yes, absolutely. Very, very good episode. And it really sparks, it really sets the tone of, we've got hope again. The Avatar is back for the whole series. And we're also showing that we don't necessarily need the Avatar to inspire hope. And that's the first setting we really get that.
Sure. I mean, they're making it a lot easier by helping out all of these people.
Aang makes it easier, but it's infectious. This hope that the Avatar is back is infecting everybody else, and they're all branching out to do their own parts, which is amazing.
Right. Yeah, I liked the episode. It was a good one. But this one is split up into 2 parts. So that's always when they're really constrained by a story but want to tell an hour's worth of content.
Yeah.
Split it up. All right. So the gang finds themselves in a small Earth Kingdom village under attack by a spirit world monster. An interesting looking one as well.
The Heibai!
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's the forest spirit.
Yeah, it looks like Goro. It has 4 arms and black and white.
It's really cool looking. And it shoots mouth lasers. It's cool.
It does shoot mouth lasers.
Mouth lasers.
Aang attempts to stop the monster from destroying the town and is accidentally transported to and trapped within the spirit world. Pretty crazy. And is going to have a lot of, connotations for not only this, but also the Legend of Korra, the next series as well.
Yeah,
the Spirit World.
this is the first time we are introduced to the concept of the spirit world. And we also have a very interesting B plot in this episode where Uncle Iroh gets himself captured by Earthbender.
yeah. That's the second line. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and we get the Iroh hot tub scene, which is extremely hilarious. And we just kind of see Zuko and Iroh's dynamic very well in this show, where like Zuko is like, "Get the fuck out of the water," and Iroh's like, "Can I just get like 5 more minutes?" And Zuko's like, "Fucking fine, dude." And he just goes back, and Iroh just dozes off and takes a nap for like hours. And
I mean, I would do
Zuko's
the
just
same thing.
100%. And Zuko's just still waiting for him like a good man. You know, he's like a good noodle. He's a good noodle. Zuko's a good noodle. And it's so funny because the Earthbenders like encase him in this rock, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is literally the Fire Lord's brother. You're coming with us."
Yep.
Yeah, and we get this kind of this really funny sequence of Iroh just fucking with them at every pass. Like, it's so funny. But that's a little later in the episode, so continue, please, Z.
Right. That was the next line. Meanwhile, Iroh gets captured by a group of Earth Kingdom soldiers, and Zuko must track him down. Yeah.
Yes.
They have him in that like that weird like palanquin prison cell thing that they do, right?
No, they're literally keeping him on. Well, I was gonna say horseback, but they're ostriches. They're like big ass ostriches. Yeah, yeah, I know. I got you. So
That's
they have him on the back of that. And he's just like, what did they say when they captured him? He's just like, we're taking you back to the site of your greatest failure. And then he's like, yes, the great city of Ba Sing Se. And he's like, they're like, great enough to stop you. He's like, I acknowledge my defeat at the hands of Ba Sing Se. My men were tired. Everyone was tired. I was tired. And then he yawns. He's like, and I'm still tired. And then he falls asleep and falls off the fucking ostrich.
Amazing.
Oh my god. And then he does that to leave a sandal for Zuko to follow.
Genius. Good shit. Good shit as usual.
What a fucking such good writing.
All right, to wrap it up, we've got Winter Solstice Part 2, Avatar Roku. Aang must travel to the Fire Temple while battling Zuko and Commander Zhao in order to receive a message from Avatar Roku on Winter Solstice.
Yes, stop here for a second because we have to talk about this really quick. The reason I brought up this whole like B plot where Iroh was going is because we get a very, 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 very important piece of information from this B plot where after they pick him up and after like we see Aang meet up with Roku's dragon in the spirit world, Roku's dragon flies him to the Crescent Isle that Aang is supposed to meet Roku at, and that's where the solstice is supposed to happen. That's where he can talk to Roku. But they fly over this Earth Kingdom convoy. Nobody even makes a move except for Iroh. He can see them flying through. And that is an extremely important piece of information. Like, you see him go, what was that? And, like, that's so cool because that comes up way later in the show and that comes up in Legend of Korra. So it's like, what a cool way to introduce that little bit of info because some people can see into the spirit world. Some people that are not the Avatar can see into it.
Sure.
And then we get that whole sequence. Oh my God. Can we talk about Uncle Iroh being a stone cold bastard for this one part? Like, if that's okay, if everyone's got the time.
Yeah, I think we're all here, yeah.
Yeah, so
like, did I leave? What?
Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, can you tighten these chains? They're like bashing against my wrists, and like, tighten them? And he's like, yeah, no, seriously, please. He's like, all right, fucking fine, tighten them. So this one guard gets up and he goes to tighten the chain, and Iroh breathes onto the metal cuff, making it red hot, and just holds the guard's hand over it. And like, he just kicks himself off while the whole commotion is happening, because the guys start screaming, the ostrich starts going crazy, and they all have to like panic and get everything under control, and he just rolls himself off the cliff.
Yep.
Like, oh my God. And he's just like, all right, you know what? You're too dangerous to be kept alive. Like, I'm breaking your fucking hands. So he goes to do that, and Zuko happens to have found him at that point. And Zuko and Iroh just absolutely body these three elite earthbenders. Like, oh my God. I know it was 5 of them. It was 5 of them against the 2 of them, and they just body them. So that's like the end of the episode, and Aang gives this Heibai creature an acorn to show that the forest is on the mend and it's growing back. And that was enough to quell the Heibai, and it returns all of the people that were taken, including Sokka. So that's the end of the episode.
Yep, 100%. And, you know, Aang's got to go to the fire temple in the next episode, which is showing that, like, he has to go on this journey of going through all of the elements and communing with each one. Meanwhile, he is battling the firebenders because times have decidedly changed when it comes to firebender culture.
Imagine just learning that the Fire Nation has turned against the entire world, and then your very next objective is enter the Fire Nation.
Right.
Like,
Because
a way that I would be like, you know, this feels targeted.
it feels targeted. This is mission 1. Good luck, bitch.
Yep.
Like, oh my God.
Because he also, there's a time constraint to this. He has to get to the fire temple before
Yes.
the winter solstice is over in order to receive the message from the previous Avatar Roku.
Yes.
So he soon learns that even the once loyal sages of the Avatar are against him. However, he does get a chance to speak with Roku.
There's one sage that helps them out, and he turns against the other sages, and he's like, it's the sage's duty to help the Avatar. It has always been the sage's duty to help the Avatar. Nothing has changed. Why now? Like, and I thought that was great. And oh God, and the whole scene with the blockade. Like, oh my God, that was so good. Zuko's chasing them down, slinging stink bombs at them, and they just run up on this Fire Nation blockade, and they just fired volley after volley after volley of these stink bombs. And Zhao is like, one of the admirals on the not admiral, one of the like captains on the ship was like, "What? There's a Fire Navy ship out there. Like, what if we hit them?" And Zhao was just like, "Who cares?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh no!" Like,
Classic Zhao.
Classic Zhao. Classic Zhao. And they just start firing and firing and firing, and they do get hit. So what happened was Aang gets through the blockade. He remember that one kick to the stink bomb, like that was fired at point blank range, just explodes, and then they're all fine. And then Zhao lets Zuko through, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And he's just like, "Yeah, we'll follow the smoke trail, and we'll get him." Like, oh my God, like what a fucking crazy intense scene.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has some anxiety-inducing moments.
Oh my! I was like silent. Have you ever just like been watching a show so intensely that like you forget there are other things happening around you? Like,
Your popcorn is done. You're like, fuck.
yeah, I'm like, I was like grabbing for popcorn where it wasn't, and like my brain wasn't even registering that, like, you know, my snacks are empty. Like, you know, like,
It's one of those.
I'm just
I
sitting
definitely
here
remember watching this like edge of my seat the whole time.
Oh God, it was such an amazingly good episode. And then they made it to Crescent Isle.
Yeah.
Where they had like an hour to get up there.
He got to speak with Roku for all of 44 minutes, you know? Like,
Yeah, literally. And then they find out that even the sages of the temple are their enemies. Like, oh my God. Like, catch a break. Can Avatar,
There'd be no
can
winning
Avatar
here.
hang? Yeah, absolutely. And then there's one sage like, no, I got you. Hold on, we're good.
yeah. Gotta love it. And, you know, Aang is helped out by a lot of characters during this time. Like,
Yes,
because he is a
absolutely.
little boy, like, he needs and receives a lot of support, which I loved to see that this ensemble and all of these wacky situations eventually lead to the end of the series. And
Yeah.
good on Sokka, question mark, everybody, for like pulling up with all of this bending nonsense with like a boomerang and a spear.
Yes, so Sokka is literally one of the most powerful characters in the whole show because he's able to compete with everybody without bending, which is so cool. He's that smart and he's that skilled, which is such a good character. And not only that, in this episode too, we get another Sokka brilliance where the door that had the statue in it, the only way it could be opened is if 5 firebenders simultaneously hit it with their fire strikes, and only a full-fledged avatar can open it by himself. So what happened was Sokka made these little oil bombs to put in the mouths of these dragons that were on the doors, and I forgot the name of the sage, but he lights all of them at the same time, and they all explode. He's like, the other sages are going to hear this, so you need to get in there. So they explode, and Aang tries to open the door, and it doesn't open. And Sokka's like, I don't understand. Katara's like, I don't understand. It should have worked. It looks like it worked. And then Sokka's like, it looks like it worked. It should have worked. And Katara goes, no, it looks like it worked. Everybody hide. And the sages came up, and then the other sage that was helping them was like, okay, we got to open the door because he's in there, obviously. And Momo snuck under the door to make a shadow so you could see something behind there. And like, he's like, yeah, we got to open the door. So all 5 of them opened the door, and Aang came out from behind them and just went through.
Yep.
Like, I was like, oh my God, it was so good.
There's a lot of like wacky misdirection like comedy in this, and I love that.
Yeah. And then it turns out that Zuko had gotten a hold of Katara at that point, and she's like, go, get in there. So, and then fucking Zhao shows up. And I'm like, oh my God. So, and then he meets with Roku, and he finds out about Sozin's comet, which is going to be a big plot point. And he finds out that Sozin's comet was used to start the war, and it's coming back, and Fire Lord Ozai is going to use it to end the war, which is huge. It's a terrible power that the firebenders get from this comet. So he's literally got to master all 4 elements in like a year.
Yep. It's quite a time constraint for sure.
Actually, not even a year, because they're at the winter solstice right now.
Yep.
So he said before the end of the summer, you have to do this.
It's quite an assignment.
Speed run.
Yeah. and Roku's like, it took me 80 years to master everything. You have to do it by the summer. Right. I'm like, oh, good. Well, you know what, guys? That's what happens when you procrastinate for 100 years.
Savior of the world, speed run any percent.
Yeah, literally.
Ridiculous. Well,
oh, God.
If you can't tell, we just absolutely love this series so much.
Yeah.
And we are not even close to finishing what is in store. So I'm just excited to have like a reliable, like, hey, all 3 of us are free tonight. Avatar?
Avatar?
Yes.
Hello?
Oh, God. I am so happy for an excuse to rewatch this series.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I've
God.
been rewatching it with Abby. We're on episode 2, so I'm very excited to continue watching.
I'm very excited
Oh my
for a
God.
reason to wait for Colton to finish watching an episode so I can use his Netflix and send him all the way back to the start. Of the
Are you
same show.
sure? Are you sure you don't want to watch the Shrek musical?
Colton, I
we got
swear
that
to
queued up.
God.
I could be a hero.
Every
There's a
time
green
I
man
want
and
to
a
watch something,
donkey.
I have to see the Shrek musical. I don't know how many times you've watched it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
concerned for you.
Okay. Oh my god.
And on the next episode, Colton's intervention.
It's time to go, everybody. So let's
And then
say
the
our
following
goodbyes.
episode is the Shrek musical episode.
Colton's solo episode on the Shrek musical.
Colton talks for an hour about the Shrek musical.
Absolutely.
Z and Rain are at the
Colton-
bar, getting wasted.
Drinking heavily. Okay, I'm Z. You can find me on the
Brainstorming their
internet
own
at various
podcast.
places.
Oh, Rain, do you want to do your plugs, or you want me to?
I mean, I'm Rain. You can also find me on the internet at various places. But I'm getting back into streaming now that I'm finally a functioning human being again. So catch me on Twitch at the Mystic Rain, where we're doing Kingdom Hearts shit, because of course we are.
Absolutely. I really love your Kingdom Hearts playthroughs. Like they're perfect for my overnight shifts.
Thank you. Thank you.
And speaking of Goblin Hour streams, you can catch me doing a few of those over on my channel. It's Easy Special. I do Pokemon. I do Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm picking up Smash again. I do Zelda. I do a lot of things. So come
You
through.
do a lot of
I have
things.
I'd have a Discord. You can check out what I'm doing at any given time. You can come and hang out with us. You can come play with us in the Discord. We got a good community, and you can come and play some fucking games, dude. Come sling some cardboard. Come play some Halo. Come play some Smash.
It'd be nice.
Do a lot of things.
Yeah. And you know, as per usual, guys, tune in next week where we talk about something else.
Hey,
Good night,
let's
everybody.
go.